Hare Krishna, everyone. Can you hear me?
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Does anybody like to say anything?
Yes, Prabhuji, I have a bhajan. Oh, Preeti, you're saying something?
Yeah, you go ahead first, Mataji. I'll do after you. I was sing one to bhajan.
Yes, Prabhu, please. Nitai Goranam. I forgot the tune. Maybe Preeti can sing first and I'll.
Sure.
Actually, I got it, sorry. Nitai Goranam Anande Radha Jai Jana Nahi Laya Tare Yamaraya Dhare Laya Jaya Nar ke Dubaya Taya Nar ke Dubaya Taya Tulasi Rahar Na Pare Jachar यमालाया वशतारा तिलक धारण न करे जे जन वृथाया जन्मा तारा वृथाया जन्मा तारा नालय हरि नाम विधि तारे वाम पामारा पाषंड मती वैष्णव सेवन न करे जे जन की होबे तहार गति की होबे तहार गति गुरु मंत्र सार कराए बार ब्रजते होए बेवास तमो गुण जाबे सत्व गुण पावे होए बे कृष्ण राधास होए बे कृष्ण राधास ई दास लोचन बने अनुक्षण निताय गौरा गुण गाओ सुखे ए रसे जारती न होए चुना काली तारा मुखे चुना काली तारा मुखे निताय गौरा नाम आनंदे धाम जे जना नहीं आए तारे अमराया धरे लाया जना नर के डुबाया ताया नर के डुबाया ताया. Translation. The holy names of Nitai and Gaura are the abode of all jubilation. Those who never utter these names are taken by Yam Maharaj and immersed in the hellish planets. Those who never wear tulsi neck beads take their permanent residence in the abode of Yam Maharaj, and those who never adorn their foreheads with tilak live their lives in vain. Those who never chant Hari Nam have an unfavorable destiny. They are fallen, and their stone-like hearts are filled with deceit. And what will be the destination of those who never serve the Vaishnavas? Now the time has come to receive Diksha from Sri Guru. If one chants these mantras carefully, one will come to live in Vraj forever. The mode of ignorance will go, goodness will come in the heart, and one will become the eternal servant of Krishna. This Lochan Das instructs everyone to always chant Gaur Nitai's holy names. Those who have no affection for Gaur Ras will be publicly defamed. Their faces will be covered with lime and black tar. So Lochan Das Thakur is saying that the holy names of Nitai and Gaura, they bring great joy and jubilation. And those who don't chant these names, they go to the planet of Yamaraj and have to suffer in hellish planets. And those who never wear tulsi beads, they also go to hellish planet. So we should have always tulsi neck beads and tilak on the foreheads. Um, yeah, if Yamaraj does not come to that person who has the tilak and tulsi mala, and those who don't chant the holy name, they suffer. They are fallen and they have stone-like hearts. And also, those who don't serve Vaishnavas, their destination is not good. And once we have received Diksha from Sri Guru and received mantra in the disciplic succession, when we chant that mantra, it will lead us to Raj. We can stay there forever. And mode of goodness will arise in our hearts. So, and he's saying that those who don't have affection for Nitai and God, their face will be covered with black tar. Chuna Kali Tara Mukhe. Thank you.
Thank you. It's nicely sung. Anybody would like to? How did you get this tune? You made yourself?
No, I had recorded previously. It's on, YouTube. And devotees have sung bhajan.
Okay. I think Preeti wanted to sing.
Yeah, I just shared. I'm not good as Mataji, but I will try. This is 1 second. विभावरी शेष आलोक प्रवेश निद्रा छड़ी उठो जीवा बोलो हरि हरि मुकुंद मुरारी राम कृष्ण हय ग्रीवा विभावरी शेष आलोक प्रवेश निद्रा छाड़ी उठो जीवा नरसिंह वामन श्री मधुसूदन ब्रजेंद्र नंदन श्यामा पूतना घातन कैटभ शातन जय दशरथी रामा विभावरी शेष आलोक प्रवेश निद्रा छाड़ी उठो जीवा यशोदा दुलाला गोविंद गोपाला वृंदावना पुरंदरा गोपी प्रिया जन राधिका रमन भुवन सुंदर बर विभावरी शेष आलोक प्रवेश निद्रा छाड़ी उठो जीवा रावणंत कर माखन तस्कर गोपी जना वस्त्र हारी ब्रजेर राखल गोप वृंदापल चित्त हरि बंसीधारी विभावरी शेष आलोक प्रवेश निद्रा छाड़ी उठो जीवा योगींद्र बंधन श्रीनंद नंदन व्रज जना भय हारी नवीन नीरद रूप मनोहर मोहन बंसी बिहारी विभावरी शेष आलोक प्रवेश निद्रा छाड़ी उठो जीवा यशोदनंदन कंस निषूदन निकुंज रास विलासी कदम्ब कानन रस परायन वृंद विपिन निवासी विभावरी शेष आलोक प्रवेश निद्रा छाड़ी उठो जीवा आनंद वर्धन प्रेम निकेतन कुलसरयोजक कामा गोपन गणागण चित्त विनोदन समस्त गुण गण धामा विभवरी शेष आलोक प्रवेश निद्रा छाड़ी उठो जीवा जमुना जीवन केली परायन मनस चंद्र चकोरा नाम सुधारस गाओ कृष्णा जस राखो वचन मन मोरा नाम सुधारस गाओ कृष्णा जस राखो वचन मन मोरा विभावरी शेष आलोक प्रवेश निद्रा छाड़ी उठो जीवा बोलो हरि हरि मुकुंद मुरारी राम कृष्ण हय ग्रीवा. Translation. So, okay. Can we take turns? Is that okay?
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
the night has come to an end and the light of dawn is entering. O Jiva soul, arise and give up your sleep. Chant the holy names of Lord Hari, who is the giver of liberation, the enemy of Mura demon, the supreme enjoyer, the all-attractive one, and the horse-headed incarnation Hayagriva.
Lord Hari Krishna incarnated as a half-man, half-lion Nrsimha. He appeared as a dwarf Brahmana named Upendra and is the killer of Madhu demon. He is the beloved son of the king of Vraj, Nanda Maharaj, and is blackish in complexion. He is the slayer of the Putana witch and the destroyer of the demon Ketam. All glories to Lord Hari, who appeared as Lord Ram, the son of King Dashrath.
Who else wants to read? He is the darling of Mother Yashoda, the giver of pleasure to the cows, land, and spiritual senses, and the protector of the cows. He is the lord of Vrindavan forest, the gopis' beloved, the lover of Radhika, and the most beautiful personality in all the worlds.
As Ramchandra, he brought about the end of the demonic king Ravan. As Krishna, he stole the older gopis' butter. He stole the younger gopis' clothes while they were bathing in the Yamuna. He is a cowherd boy of Braj and the protector of the cowherd boys. He steals the hearts of all and always holds a flute.
Lord Krishna is worshipped. Okay, yeah, sorry.
Lord Krishna is worshipped by the best of yogis and is the son of Nanda. He removes all the fears of the inhabitants of Vraj. He is the color of a fresh rain cloud and his form is enchanting. When he wanders about playing his flute, he looks very charming.
He is the son of Yashoda and the killer of King Kans, and he sports in the Ras dance among the groves of Raj. Krishna engages in the Ras dance underneath the Kadamba trees and he resides in the forest of Vrindavan.
He increases the ecstasy. Janish Prabhu, you want to?
Yeah, I can read one.
Okay, Prabhu.
He increases the ecstasy of his devotees. He is the reservoir of all love and is transcendental Cupid, who uses his flowered arrows to increase the loving desires of the gopis. He is the pleasure of the gopis' hearts and the abode of all wonderful qualities.
Can I read this, Mataji?
Yes, please, Mataji. Sure.
Lord Krishna is the life of the river Yamuna. He is always absorbed in amorous pastimes, and he is the moon of the gopis' minds, which are like the chakora birds that subsist only upon moonlight. O mind, obey these words of mine and sing the glories of Sri Krishna in the form of these holy names, which are full of nectarian mellows. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, thank you. So for each quality like described, Jamuna Jivan is always absorbed in amorous pastime. Keli Parayan is the moon of Gopi's mind. Manasa Chandra Chakura. So like that, when we sing, we should know all the meanings of the words. So then that pastime will come to our mind. Makhan Taskar. Then immediately we see Krishna stealing butter. Like that. So, okay. Anything else anyone would like to say?
Today is Basanta Panchami,
Hmm.
or yesterday it was.
26th today, I think.
It's today.
Anybody like to say about Vasant Panchami?
Yeah, I wanted to know that. Hare Krishna.
There is Vasanta Raj that happens. I don't know if that's a different day.
Is this when Madhavendra Puri brings the sandalwood?
Oh, the Chandan Yatra starts.
Is it?
That's the Chandan Yatra.
So Vasant Panchami is just the arrival of spring season, right? Vasant.
Yeah, that's right. Mm-hmm.
And that is why he is dressed in yellow color and yellow flowers and yellow color dress.
Yeah.
Although here it's very cold, we can't say it's spring here. Is it the beginning of spring here? I don't know. Officially, when they say spring.
No,
In March,
that's
Prabhuji.
April.
Maybe in India spring has begun. Right? So, February. But anyhow. Okay, it's anytime good to remember Krishna, whether it's Vasant Panchami or not Vasant Panchami. So,
Vaishnavas are all festivals on pretty much every day, so that every day is a festival, and you get to remember Krishna some way or the other.
anything else about Vasant Panchami?
I mean, today we on Basant Panchami, we in India usually worship goddess Saraswati, right? And this is an appearance day of, and she is of course everyone is an energy of Radharani. So we do worship Saraswati on the day of Basant Panchami. I remember when I was in school, there's a lot of worshipping going on in school.
Yes, Saraswati, we can pray to Saraswati to give us good intelligence. Mostly people worship Saraswati because they want to pass their exam. When I was young, we used to keep that in the book. There was a leaf or something supposed to represent like Saraswati.
Mm.
But
I
Krishna
think
is
so.
the master of the Saraswati, so worshipping Krishna is much better. Like with that
Keshav
pastime
Kashmir.
of Keshav Kashmiri, right? And also Kulavichashri, the Krishna sent, or Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sent Saraswati on her tongue. So Saraswati follows the order of Krishna. Servant.
Everybody
And
like
also I heard I think yesterday I read somewhere and because we call usually Lord Vidya, right? She is a personification of Vidya. So Vidya is spiritual knowledge, and so we can which is opposed to the avidya. Avidya is a material knowledge. So we can pray to the Lord Goddess Saraswati that we increase our Vidya, which is our spiritual knowledge, and away from the darkness of Vidya.
She's the goddess of both material knowledge and spiritual knowledge. So some people have a lot of, they are very knowledgeable, but they're not spiritually inclined. And they can speak very well, but they're not, spiritual. So like Keshav Kashmiri also, he was not spiritual, but he had a blessings from Goddess Saraswati. He could speak verses like flow of Ganges.
That was one reason why Advaita Acharya prayed, because he was seeing that in Navadvip everybody was like a scholar in debate and logic and everything, but there was no devotion to Krishna. So he was seeing the plight of all the people like that. So, yeah. Okay. Prabhupada also says in one conversation with Dr. Benford, and he said, yes, there is material knowledge. You can write volumes of books about how the grass grows and, how long it lasts and how you can make it green. There is so much knowledge about, but what is the use of that knowledge? Of course, we have, because of material knowledge, only these computers have been invented. And so it's not bad, material knowledge, as long as you know the goal of life. We have also been educated in material education, right? So many classes and so many things on material education. But as long as you can use that in Krishna's service, that's valuable. So, but if you become enamored, then Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that, yeah, it will create an obstacle in bhajan. Jada Vidya. Jada Vidya means this matter, Vidya of Jada, matter. Jada Vidya Mayar Vaibhav. Tumhara bhajan hai badha. Vidya Ravilase. So, or as Krishna says, Maya aprita jnana. Maya has taken away the real knowledge. Prabhupada says they are PhDs and they are very. But we don't have that knowledge, because then we start thinking that we become proud of the knowledge that we have, but we don't have any spiritual knowledge. And we think this material knowledge is going to give me all solutions. But it cannot give any solution. Because despite so much, advancement in science, so much research is going on, still people are dying. And old age is coming and disease and so much research is going on, right? They're doing this and that. But ultimately nobody can avoid death. So that's, of course, it's valuable. We are not saying that, but we are using so many medicines from the market, right? CVS and so many things, over the counter, and then specialized medicines. They were all developed with so much effort and research. And we take advantage of that. But as long as you know the goal of life, so you want to live, somebody says, I want to live, but why should we live longer? Well, one is because we want to be happy. We want to find happiness. Nobody likes to die. We want to be happy. So we want to live so that we can become happy. But then how to become happy? That's the question. So we can become happy by bhakti. So, but nobody generally wants to die. Unless it becomes very troublesome. That sometimes people say, now, the pain is too much. I just want to leave. So that's how it is. Okay. Yeah.
And on the contrary, even if one is not a scholar, right, that illiterate Brahmana who was, he didn't know how to read Bhagavad Gita, but he had the bhav for Krishna, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, you are perfect.
Yeah. Material knowledge is not needed for manye dana abhijana rupata pashuta ojas. Is not needed for spiritual perfection. And our problem is not a material problem. Our problem is a spiritual problem, in the sense that it's a consciousness problem. We have to change our consciousness. Just fixing the body and knowing about fixing the body will not solve the problem. The problem is a consciousness problem. Because we have turned away from Krishna. That's the root cause of all the problems. So That's the problem we have to fix. Then we have to become lovers of Krishna. And Nityananda Prabhu gives that love of Krishna very easily. We take shelter of his lotus feet. Then he gives love of Krishna easy. Without seeing any qualification. Because he's intoxicated very much with love of God. So to take shelter of the lotus feet of Nityananda. To get Krishna prem. Get the mercy of Lord Chaitanya. Lord Chaitanya is what? Yesterday I was mentioning. I have to find this where it is. Somebody can find it. Lord Chaitanya told Nityananda that I preach amongst the elite class. You are preaching among the downtrodden class. I am a head-cutting preacher. Because when Madhai, he hurt Nityananda then. But he said, you are better preacher than me because you are love-giving preacher. I am a head-cutting preacher, love-avoiding preacher. So you are better preacher than me. And Nityananda says, yes, I am doing everything by your mercy. You are my prana. I am just the body. Without prana, the body is no. So whatever I am able to do is your mercy. So we say Nityananda Prabhu is very merciful. Actually, the Panchatattva, anybody in the Panchatattva accepts us, then we are done. Advaita Acharya or Nityananda Prabhu or Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Srivas Thakur or Gadadhar Pandit. They are all very merciful. So, and of course, Srila Prabhupada is the representative. Okay, so we can pray for acceptance. Krishna, please accept me. I am so bad, but you are so kind. Nityananda Prabhu, please accept me. I am fallen, but you are the deliverer of the fallen. Like that. I have come a long way. I have come a long way. I have struggled through so many species of life. I have struggled so hard. And by your mercy, I have gotten this human form of life. Now some few years are remaining in my life. I want to completely dedicate myself to you, your service. Please accept me, please accept me. Like that, some prayer, the heart. Okay. Actually, yeah, we have come a long way. To come to the human form of life, we have come a long way. After struggling through various pieces of life, and how much struggle is there in all species of life, and even in human life, there is so much struggle and like that. So, how many times we have died? Every time we died, there was a struggle. So, all right, so we'll go to the Bhagavatam, read a few verses. So I'm just looking at some verses here. Brahma is talking to his son Swayambhuva Manu. He's instructing that one should do work for the satisfaction of Krishna. If Krishna is satisfied, then everything is perfect. If Krishna is not satisfied, then it is futile. Okay, so 3:13:14. So Manu is now speaking. Swayambhu Manu is speaking. Manuruvacha आदेशे अहम भगवतो वर्तेमिव सूदन स्थानं त्व इहानुजानीहि prajanam mama cha prabhu. Sri Manu said, O all-powerful Lord, O killer of all sins, I shall abide by your order. Now please let me know my place and that of the living entities born of me. O master of the demigods, please attempt to lift the earth, which is merged in great water, because it is the dwelling place for all the living entities. It can be done by your endeavor and by the mercy of the Lord. The great water mentioned in this connection is the Garbhodak ocean, which fills half of the universe. So the earth had gone inside the Garbhodak ocean. So he said, O Brahma, O master of the demigods, please lift this earth, because that's the dwelling place for all the living entities. So please lift it by your endeavor and by mercy of the Lord. Sri Maitreya said, thus seeing the earth merged in the water, Brahma gave his attention for a long time to how it could be lifted. Brahma was thinking how this earth can be lifted from the Garbhodak ocean. According to Jiva Goswami, the topics delineated in this chapter are of different millenniums. It's different yuga cycles, I think. There are different appearances of Varaha Dev. The present topics are of the Shweta Varaha millennium. And topics regarding the Chakshusha millennium will also be discussed in this chapter. Okay. Brahma thought, while I have been engaged in the process of creation, the earth has been inundated by a deluge and has gone down into the depths of the ocean. What can be done by us who are engaged in this matter of creation? It is best to let the Almighty Lord direct us. So it was beyond his pay grade to figure out how to bring the earth out. So he says, let the Almighty Lord help us. The devotees of the Lord, who are all his confidential servitors, are sometimes perplexed in discharge of their respective duties, but they are never discouraged. They have full faith in the Lord, and he paves the way for the smooth progress of devotee's duty. Like Arjuna was perplexed. Says, what I have to do? So, but he took shelter of the Lord, and then he got proper direction. O sinless Vidura, all of a sudden, while Brahma was engaged in thinking, a small form of a boar came out of his nostril. The measurement of the creature was not more than the upper portion of a thumb. So, from his nostril, the boar came out, which was just the size, upper portion of a thumb, very small. O descendant of Bharat, while Brahma was observing him, that boar became situated in the sky in a wonderful manifestation as gigantic as a great elephant. So he became huge. From the size of a thumb, he became the size of an elephant in the sky. Like Matsya also like that. From small they expanded to a big form. Struck with wonder at observing the wonderful boar-like form in the sky, Brahma, along with the great Brahmanas like Marichi, as well as the Kumaras and Manu, began to argue in various ways. So they are seeing this huge form and they are discussing amongst themselves, arguing. Lord Brahma said, is this some extraordinary entity pretending to be a boar? It is very wonderful that he has come from my nose.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. So this th- so already the Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha was already there, right?
This is a different time. I think this is not when Hiranyaksha had done the submerging. There was another There's another Varaha incarnation who comes and battles with. I'm not sure. Let's go. Let's read more and then we'll find out. It'll come up if there
Oh,
was.
okay.
I think there were mentioned there were two times when the earth was submerged in one millennium and the other millennium. So,
Yeah, I mean, we know that the Lord Vara has two incarnations. One is white and one is red. That is a Shwet, and
mhm.
other one is red. But here it's talking about like it looks like that, it come from his nose and like okay, maybe we can read later.
Correct.
It
Yeah,
come.
we'll find out if how it has gone into the. One time Hiranyaksha did that. He submerged it in the ocean. So, first of all, this boar was seen to be no bigger than the tip of a thumb, and within a moment he has become as large as a boulder. My mind is perturbed. Is he the Supreme Personality of Godhead Vishnu? Since Brahma is the supermost person in the universe and he had never before experienced such a form, he could guess that the wonderful appearance of the boar was an incarnation of Vishnu. The uncommon features symptomatic of the incarnation of Godhead can bewilder even the mind of Brahma. So it was a miracle kind of thing, how it became so huge, this boar. While Brahma was deliberating with his sons, the Supreme Personality of Godhead Vishnu rode tumultuously like a great mountain. It appears that the great hills and mountains also have the roaring power because they are also living entities. Hmm. So Vishnu was roaring in the sky, is the Varaha. While they were debating, who is this? Is it incarnation of Vishnu? The volume of the sound, Prabhupada says mountains can also roar because mountains are also living entities. The volume of the sound vibrated is in proportion to the size of the material body. Like a big man can speak louder than a child. While Brahma was guessing about the appearance of the Lord's incarnation as a boar, the Lord confirmed Brahma's contemplation by roaring with his gorgeous voice. So, yeah, he's thinking, is this Vishnu? And in confirmation, Vishnu is saying, yes, this is me. The omnipotent Supreme Personality of Godhead enlivened Brahma and the other highly elevated Brahmanas by again roaring with his uncommon voice, which echoed in all directions. So that voice enlivened the devotees of the Lord. So whenever the same voice is frightening to the demons, but it is pleasing to the devotees. Brahma and other enlightened Brahmanas who know the Supreme Personality of Godhead are enlivened by the appearance of the Lord in any of his multi incarnations. So, because they see the Lord as their protector, whereas the demons see the Lord as their enemy. And that's why, if you have somebody who is protecting you, you see them, then you feel happy. And somebody you see as your enemy who's going to harm you, then you feel sad or in danger. The appearance of wonderful and gigantic incarnation of Vishnu as the mountain-like boar did not fill them with any kind of fear. Although the Lord's resounding voice was tumultuous and echoed horribly in all directions, as an open threat to all demons who might challenge his potency. So it was very fierce, like Narsinghadev is very pleasing to Prahlad Maharaj, but very fierce to we say the lioness is very affectionate to her cubs, but for the other animals, it's frightening. The sight of a lion is frightening. Similarly, in the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita, when Pandavas blew their conch shell, it shattered, it's described, it shattered the hearts of the sons of Dhritarashtra. But when the Kauravas blew, there was no such shattering on the Pandavas side. So although he roared, it was very horrible. and tumultuous. It was pleasing to Brahma. Okay. When the great sages residing on Janalok, Tapalok, and Satyalok heard the tumultuous voice of Lord Bor, which was the all auspicious sound of the all merciful Lord, they chanted auspicious hymns from the three Vedas. The word Mayamaya is significant in this verse, very significant in this verse. Maya means mercy and also means illusion, specific knowledge and also illusion. Therefore, Lord Bor is everything. He is merciful, He is all knowledge, He is illusion also. The sound which he vibrated was answered by the Vedic hymns of the great sages on the planets Janalok, Tapalok, and Satyalok. The highest intellectual and pious living entities live on those planets. And when they heard the extraordinary voice of the boar, they could understand that the specific sound was vibrated by the Lord and no one else. Therefore, they replied by praying to the Lord with Vedic hymns. The earth planet was submerged in the mire, but on hearing the sound of the Lord, the inhabitants of higher planets were all jubilant because they knew that the Lord was there to deliver the earth. Therefore, Brahma and all the sages, such as Bhrigu, Brahma's other sons, and learned Brahmanas, were enlivened, and they concertedly joined in praising the Lord with the transcendental vibration of the Vedic hymns. The most important is the Kalisantaram Upanishad verse. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Okay, so they chanted Vedic hymns when they heard the sound of the boar.
So Prabhuji, did they mention how did the earth fall in the ocean? The first
It is
place?
not mentioned yet.
Okay.
We didn't see any reason.
Okay, we can carry on.
Yes. Playing like an elephant, he entered into the water, and after roaring again in reply to the Vedic prayers by the great devotees. So, just as a boar digs the mud and takes out something that is buried, similarly, the Lord has taken the form of a boar. So, appropriate to the task he has to perform to bring the earth out. The Lord is object of Vedic prayers, and he understood that devotees' prayers were meant for him. The form of the Lord in any shape is always transcendental and full of knowledge and mercy. So Krishna can take any form, but whichever form he takes, it's all transcendental. Like in the Brahma Samhita, Deeparchi Deva Hi Dashantaram Abhyupetya. There it says Samana Dharma. So it's all Krishna. There is Kala and there is Ansha, like that. So, but they are all transcendental, full of knowledge and mercy. The Lord is the destroyer of all material contamination because his form is personified Vedic knowledge. All the Vedas worship the transcendental form of the Lord. In the Vedic mantras, the devotees request the Lord to remove the glaring effulgence because it covers his real face. That is the version of the Ishopanishad. Yeah, in the Ishopanishad there is a verse like that. Please remove your glaring effulgence so I can see you. Because the effulgence prevents or blinds the observer. Like when you are driving at night and somebody has their headlights on like high beam, then it's very blinding, you cannot see. You can get a ticket. If you do that on a 2-lane road, if you're driving with high beam on, I know one devotee got a ticket like that because he accidentally put his high beam on and he was driving on a 2-lane road and then he got a ticket. So, because it's blinding. So Krishna's effulgence is so like intense that it blinds the devotee, so cannot see what is behind the effulgence. That is the version of the Ishopanishad. The Lord has no material form, but his form is always understood in the terms of the Vedas. The Vedas are said to be the breath of the Lord, and that breath was inhaled by Brahma, the original student of the Vedas. So, breathing of Krishna, the exhalation maybe, was inhaled by Brahma. The breathing from the nostril of Brahma caused the appearance of Lord Boar, and therefore the boar incarnation of the Lord is the personified Vedas. So it is, he appeared from his breathing, out from his nostril. So Varaha Dev is the personified Vedas. The glorification of incarnation by sages on higher planets consisted of factual Vedic hymns. Whenever there is glorification of the Lord, it is to be understood that Vedic mantras are being rightly vibrated. And the best mantra to glorify the Lord is the Hare Krishna mantra. As Prabhupada says in the... If you don't know any shlokas, anything, just chant Hare Krishna mantra. That covers everything. You don't have to chant this shloka and that shloka, and Maha Mantra has everything. So, Prabhupada, that's why on the installation of Krishna Balaram, he said, this chanting of Hare Krishna is sufficient. We don't need to do anything else. Sankirtan is enough. And fortunately for us, we have short memories. We can't remember all the shlokas and so many things. But this one mantra we can remember, Hare Krishna mantra. And that covers everything. And in one purport in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Prabhupada writes that there should be 3 mantras that should be chanted always in Mayapur. What are the 3 mantras? Who can say?
Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Hari Haraya Namaha Krishna Yadavaya Namaha Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhu.
Correct. And then Hare Krishna.
And Hare Krishna mantra.
6 lines he says this should be always going on. We would wonder why he didn't say Adavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha, but he says like that, Hari Haraya Namaha Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudan. I'm not sure what is the reason he didn't say that line.
Because that was spoken by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu while who has written that song.
Narottam Das Thakur.
Narottam Das Thakur wrote that song, but originally it was sung by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that those 2 lines.
Haraya Namaha Krishna. So that is the reason.
This song is, that was spoken by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Hari Haraya Namaha Krishna Yadavaya Govinda.
Okay, it's mentioned in Chaitanya Charitamrita like that this was... in South India, he was chanting Krishna, 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 Hey. But some other time he was chanting Hari Haraya. He was chanting as Gopal Govinda Ram. Okay, thank you.
Like Nityananda Prabhu also was chanting Bhaj Gorango, Kaho Gorango, Laho Gorango, Namare, Jai Jana Gorango Bhaje, Say Mora Pranare. Like all these things, they are in the bhajans, local bhajans, but not recorded maybe anywhere.
Okay. And the Lord is the destroyer of all material contamination because his form is personified Vedic knowledge. All the Vedas worship the transcendental form of the Lord. In the Vedic mantras, the devotees request the Lord. Okay, we read all that. The Vedas are said to be the breath of the Lord and that breath. Okay. The glorification of the incarnation by the sages on higher planets consists of the factual Vedic hymns. Whenever there is glorification of the Lord, it is to be understood Vedic mantras. Okay. The Lord was therefore pleased when Vedic mantras were chanted to encourage his pure devotees. He rode once more and entered the water to rescue the submerged earth. So, the Lord was enthused. To encourage his devotees, he again rode. And he entered the water to get out the earth. Before entering the water to rescue the earth, Lord Boar flew in the sky, slashing his tail, his hard hairs quivering. His very glance was luminous, and he scattered the clouds in the sky with his hooves and his glittering white tusks. So he was roaming around in the sky, and it was very bright, luminous, emanating a lot of light. Like it is described of Arishtasur also. His hump was hovering in the clouds. When Arishtasur came to kill Krishna, his hump was so high, and from his nostrils, he was giving out air which was like whirlwinds, hurricane winds, and wherever he was walking was creating huge craters in earth, and he was roaring. So that was Varishtasur, but this is Varahadev. Okay, it was huge. When the Lord is offered prayers by his devotees, his transcendental activities are described. Here are some of the transcendental features of the Lord Boar. As the residents of the upper three planetary systems offered their prayers to the Lord, it is understood that his body expanded throughout the sky, beginning from the topmost planet Brahmalok or Satyalok. And Krishna can do that because Krishna is infinite power. He has created this whole universe with so many planets floating in the sky. So, what is impossible for him? He can expand. And this is how we can understand the Lord, or at least accept the Lord's powers. Otherwise, we'll brand it as mythology and just say, this is not. But we can see, like in Narad Muni, when he went to the cobbler, he said, "Do you believe that Vishnu was passing an elephant through the eye of a needle? How is that possible? I mean, do you really believe it?" And cobbler said, "Oh, that's so. Yes, why not? Because yes, what he has done, he has put
a seed to a banyan tree from a small seed. If a huge banyan tree can grow,
correct. The whole seed, in the seed is a whole banyan tree compressed. So why can't he move an elephant through the eye of a needle?" So like that. So
I
that's
have
yeah. Go ahead.
I have one question, Prabhuji. I don't know is it relevant or not, but here also, like when Lord appeared as a boar form, and he created such a fearful situation, right? He is roaring, and in this he's flowing in the sky, hairs quivering like that. So Lord, in any form Lord appears, Lord's activities, Lord's body is transcendental. Then what is the need of creating this fearful situation? Even we have seen that in the when Lord appears as a nursing form, half lion and half man form, then uh, we can say that he killed the demon, and we have that the prayers to pacify Lord Narasimha. So why Lord has you know doing such a fearful situation or activities? Because he is, although he is in the boar form, but he is Supreme Lord.
So why
So
is he
and
roaring?
here also there is no demon. He's not fighting with the demon. He appeared, and so yeah, I'm just saying that why it is necessary to do this fearful situation, because Lord know that in any form he is, in any body, but he is Supreme Lord. So and he is naturally is very cool and calm.
Anybody like to answer this question?
There is a demon in the following verses. It's talking about Hiranyaksha.
Hiranyaksha. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, devotees are very pleased to see the Lord. And the Lord is always angry at the demoniac people. And even in the Prahlad's case, he was so much angry at Hiranyakashipu because he was troubling Prahlad. So Lord is actually feeling that, How are you troubling my devotee? He's feeling anger towards whoever are, you know, bothering the devotees. So yeah, that's why Nrsimhadev is angry. And for a devotee, Prahlad Maharaj, he was not fearful seeing the Lord. The demonic people are fearful, but we saw that, Brahma was fearful, Indra and all the demigods became fearful. They were not going near Nrsimhadev. But more pure devotee you are, you're not fearful because you have done everything according to the scriptures, following dharma. You know that Krishna is there to protect you, not to punish you. So, like, thieves are, when they see the police, they are very fearful because they know that they have committed wrong, and now the police has come to punish them. But if the civilian who's following nicely the rules and regulations, he sees a police, he feels very happy. Oh, the police is here to save me from any trouble from, miscreants, like that.
Yeah, that is true, Mataji. You thank you. But I by I was thinking like that. That is true. Devotee never fears. Even in uh, maybe Lord has, as you said that, like, okay, if Hiranyakash is there, then he's got angry and tried to fail. Even in case of Hiranyakashipu, Narasimhadev, even goddess of fortune, Lord Lakshmi also couldn't pacify him. But they all are like pure devotees, right? They are.
So that's why when Gopakumara goes to Lakshmi ji and says, "You are the topmost devotee," she says, "No, I'm not, because I was not able to recognize my Lord in that form. But better than me is Prahlad Maharaj, because he recognizes, so like the dog recognizes the master in whatever form the master comes." Um, so, I mean, that's what she says to Gopakumara in the Brahad Bhagavatamrita.
But
And
maybe Lord also tried to establish his supremacy also, because in any form, either he's not ruling, he can kill the demons. It's not a big deal for Lord. So yeah, okay, you go ahead, Roji. I'm just
yeah,
thinking that.
and his roaring was pleasing to the devotees, so it was not fearful.
Mm.
And that this also before we read, right? It was pleasing.
Yeah, and Krishna also creates, when he's dancing on the hoods of Kalia, he doesn't have to dance. He can kill Kalia, but he makes that pastime exciting for the devotees to see how the Lord is, doing all this drama to kill the demon.
Yeah, and in Vrindavan, Krishna doesn't change his size mostly, except in a Gasur pastime. He's just a small baby and he kills everybody with effortless. But other incarnations we see that they have to become huge and then they have to. So Prabhupada writes in one purport that Krishna effortlessly kills in Vrindavan. Sometimes, majestic, uh, when we see the Lord's majestic power and we get, so much attracted to that. So Krishna also
Mhm.
exhibits his power to assure us, to assure the devotees, and we feel little.
Yeah,
So,
even Prabhupada says he doesn't even have to come to kill the demons. He can give them a little heart attack. Right? He doesn't have to come and fight with them.
right.
But he comes to please the devotees.
Mm.
So, and then, the fighting with the Lord and the demons is just pleasing to the devotees.
So Hiranyaksha is coming up, right? So Hiranyaksha was there. I think twice Hiranyaksha displaced the earth then, maybe. Because there are two times when the earth was submerged. So, anyhow.
One more question, Prabhuji. It's we have seen in previous verses that Brahma has created, like from Manu, all the yeah, Prajapati and everything is the human beings was created, right?
Hmm.
But
Yeah.
we haven't heard about that. How the demons will come
No, he
at the
created,
same source.
there is also, he created lust and deceit and like that. Yes.
Rudra also we heard.
Rudra
Rudra
also.
created demons.
He was multiplying at a very fast rate, and they were creating like havoc.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the
Um.
backside of Brahma was all mm, um, bad things, lust and stuff,
Lust, fear, and all these things.
emotions.
Yeah. Okay. Because he has to put us into illusion, right? So he has to create not only the good things, but also the bad things, so that we can be affected by those bad things. And we may think, well, why is he creating bad things? So that we can go back home, back to Godhead. We will be troubled by all these things, right? So we take shelter. Like that devotee says, I've been troubled so much by lust and kama adinam katina. So much I've been troubled by this lusty desires. And now I've come to take shelter of your lotus feet. Krishna, please free me from the service of these bad masters. My lust has troubled me so much. So, like that, we can tell Krishna. And prayer is there, Kamadinam Katina Katita Pali. Okay. Before entering the water to rescue the earth, Lord Boar flew in the sky, slashing his tail, his hard hairs quivering. His very glance was luminous and he scattered the clouds in the sky. I think we read this, but we didn't read the purport. When the Lord is offered prayers by his devotees, his transcendental activities are described. Here are some of the transcendental features of the Lord Boar. As residents of upper three planetary systems offered their prayers to the Lord, it is understood that his body expanded throughout the sky, beginning from the topmost planet Brahmalok or Satyalok. He was so huge. It is stated in the Brahma Samhita that his eyes are the sun and the moon. Therefore, his very glance over the sky was as illuminating as the sun or the moon. The Lord is described here as Mahitra, which means either a big mountain or the sustainer of the earth. In other words, the Lord's body was as big and hard as the Himalaya mountains. Otherwise, how is it possible that he kept the entire earth on the support of his white tusks? So whole earth was on his tusks. So how huge he must be. The poet Jayadev, a great devotee of the Lord, has sung of the incident in his prayers for the incarnation. Vashati dashana shikhare dharani tava lagna sashini kalanka kaleva nimagna keshavadrita shukara rupa jai jagadisha hare jai jagadisha hare. Okay. Vasati dashana shikhare dharani tava lagna sashini kalanka kaleva. Somebody can explain this? Vasati dashana shikhare dharani tava lagna sashini kalanka kaleva. Sashi is the moon, right? Here it says. Yeah.
Correct. Dashana means
Dashana, Sati, Dashana, Shikhare. Shikhar means the peak. Dharani Tava Lagna. Yes. Dharani means held. Lagna. Huh. Okay. All glories to Lord Keshav who appeared. Maybe there is some word for one somewhere. Sashini Kalanka Kaleva Nimagna. All glories to Lord Keshava. So that is Jai Jagdish Hare. Keshava Dhrita. So this is Keshava only. Keshav is Krishna's name. He has taken the form. Everywhere it's Keshavadrita, Narahari Rupa, Keshavadrita, Vamana Rupa. So it's Keshav who has taken the form of the boar, who appeared as the boar incarnation. And all glories to him, Jai Jagdish. The earth was held between his tusks. Vasati means situated, I think. Vasati. Dashana Shikhare Taranita Valagna Shashini Kalanga, which appeared like the scars on the moon. Kalanka is the scars. Sashini Kalanka. Kalleva. Okay.
Here it is said that word by word meaning. Vasati means sits. Dashana stick upon the tip of your tusk. If you want, you can open that one.
Yeah, I think it's pasted here. Yeah, Vasati Dashana Shikhare. So upon the tip, Shikhare in the tip or the peak of the tusk. Dashana is the tusk, and Shikhara is the tip. Vasati, sitting on the tip of the tusk. Dharani, Dharani is earth. Tava, your lagna sits fixed. Sashini is the moon. Kalanka Kala, a faint spot. Eva, Kalanka Kala Eva, like Taror Eva Sahishna Eva, just like Nimagna, which had become immersed in the Garbha, the ocean. Magna means to be absorbed or immersed. Nimagna. Okay, so that's the meaning. Thank you for the translation. Okay, so let's see. So what happened? He flew around in the sky before entering the water. He was personally the Supreme Lord Vishnu and was therefore transcendental. And yet, because he had the body of a hog, he searched after the earth by smell. So busy behaving like a hog, he's smelling. His tusks were fearful, and he glanced over the devotee brahmanas engaged in offering prayers. So he was looking at all the devotees who were offering prayers. Thus he entered the water. So all the brahmanas in Satyalok, and they were offering prayers, and he was looking at them. We should always remember that although the body of a hog is material, the hog form of the Lord was not materially contaminated. It is not possible for an earthly hog to assume a gigantic form for spreading throughout the sky, beginning from Satyalok. His body is always transcendental in all circumstances. Therefore, the assumption of the form of a boar is only his pastime. So he is always Satchidananda Vigraha. Whether he comes as a boar, whether he comes as Mahavishnu, whatever form he takes, he is always Matsya, Kurma, Varaha, whatever. He is always Satchidananda Vigraha. His body is all Vedas or transcendental. But since he had assumed the form of a boar, he began to search out the earth by smelling just like a hog. The Lord can perfectly play the part of any living entity. So as a hog, he can play the part. As a child, he can play the part of a child. As a friend, he can play the part of a friend, whatever. Because he is perfect in everything. So he can do anything. Any role, he can do it perfectly. So okay. The gigantic feature of the boar was certainly fearful, very fearful for all non-devotees. But to the pure devotees of the Lord, he was not at all fearful. On the contrary, he was so pleasingly glancing upon his devotees that all of them felt transcendental happiness. We discussed this, how the police side of police is pleasing to the law-abiding citizen, but for the criminal, the side of police is fearful. Diving into the water like a giant mountain, Lord Boar divided the middle of the ocean, and two high waves appeared as the arms of the ocean. which cried loudly as if praying to the Lord, O Lord of all sacrifices, please do not cut me in two, kindly give me protection. Even the great ocean was perturbed by falling of the mountain-like body of the transcendental boar, and it appeared to be frightened as if death were imminent. Which other pastime ocean was fearful?
Lord Ram wanted to cross the ocean. And he looked at with his red hot eyes to dry it up, and the ocean prayed, "No, I'll give you the way."
And which other pastime?
One more.
Garuda.
Oh yeah, the sparrow.
The sparrow had lost her eggs in the ocean, right? And
Right.
what happened?
And well, the sparrow was determined to empty the ocean, was asking the ocean to return the eggs. But when Garuda saw how her little sister was so determined, he came to help her. And he said to the ocean, "If you don't return the eggs, then I will empty you." And the ocean became fearful of Garuda. Returned the eggs.
Yeah. So, okay. So Prabhupada says in that context that our determination should be like that of the sparrow. Right? There's a nice purport in the sixth chapter of Bhagavad Gita.
God helps those who help themselves.
Let's read that, it's nice. Yeah, this is 6.24. It's a nice verse. One should engage oneself in the practice of yoga with determination and faith, Krishna is saying. So, determination and faith. Faith means, Krishna, this is the best thing of my life, and I will achieve all success. Everything will be nice for me. Krishna will take care of me. Krishna will protect me. Krishna will maintain me. Krishna will give me all happiness if I surrender to Him. So, I will be safe, like that. One should engage oneself in the practice of yoga with determination and faith and not be deviated from the path. And if you have deviated, we should come back and then again practice yoga with determination and faith. Of course, we have all deviated in one sense. We have come to this material world, so we are all deviated from Krishna in one sense. But now we have to practice. And then also now we may be deviating, but we have to practice. One should abandon without exception all material desires. Prajahati yada kaman sarva partha manogatan. Same thing is saying here. One should abandon without exception all material desires born of mental speculation and thus control all the senses on all sides by the mind. So mind should be made so strong and should control all the senses. Of course, the mind cannot be controlled unless you engage the mind in Krishna. As many yogis failed to control the mind because they were not exactly Krishna bhaktas. The yoga practitioner should be determined and should patiently prosecute the practice without deviation. One should be sure of success at the end. Like yesterday, I think, you said a quote from Radhanath Maharaj that whether you win or lose, it's not important. What is important is that you perform your duty with the right attitude. So, we have to do it in proper consciousness. And as long as we are doing it in proper consciousness for the right purpose to please Krishna, we are good. One should be sure of success at the end and pursue this course with great perseverance, not becoming discouraged. if there is any delay in the attainment of success. Means should not get discouraged if there is some setback or something like that. Success is sure for the rigid practitioner. Rigid practitioner doesn't just mean like, externally, but also in consciousness. Regarding Bhakti Yoga, Rupa Goswami says, Utsahad Nishya Dharya Tat Tat Karma Pravartanat Sangat Yagat Sato Vrate Shadbhir Bhakti Prasidhyati. Okay. One can execute the process of Bhakti Yoga successfully with full-hearted enthusiasm, perseverance and determination by following the prescribed duties in the association of devotees, by engaging completely in the activities of goodness. So we have to put ourselves in the association of very advanced devotees who are like practicing the process with great determination, and then we will also get the determination. As for determination, one should follow the example of Sparrow, who lost her eggs in the waves of the ocean. Sparrow laid her eggs on the shore of the ocean, but the big ocean carried away eggs on its waves. The sparrow became very upset and asked the ocean to return her eggs. The ocean did not even consider her appeal, so the sparrow decided to dry up the ocean. She began to pick out the water in her small beak, and everyone laughed at her for her impossible determination. So we can also become ridiculed for our attempt because we may be like doing a very big thing which is impossible. Everybody was laughing. Like who else was laughing in which other pastime?
Yashoda's tying up Krishna, the water. Failure, fatigue, and feedback. So she was getting some feedback from other gopis. You should leave it. You're wasting your time. Today is Krishna's lucky day. It's not in his destiny to be bound.
And which other pastime?
And I think in case of Jad Bharat also.
Yeah. He was oblivious, but there was another pastime also where somebody was trying and the people were laughing.
Oh yeah, it was Chaitanya Leela, right? Brahman, the illiterate Brahman, he was trying to read Bhagavad Gita. Everybody was laughing at him.
Yeah, they were laughing. This Brahmana was not properly literate and he was pronouncing the words incorrectly and like that. He was trying to read Bhagavad Gita because his Guru Maharaj said so. But he was doing it for the satisfaction of his Guru. It was not coming out nicely and people were laughing. So, but his attempt was genuine, sincere. So that's what Krishna sees like that. Okay. So,
And I think in Ramayana, when Squirrel was helping to build the bridge, I don't know if the other Vanara, they were laughing, but I think, but Lord Ram then corrected, right? I mean, any service, whatever, there is a big or small, doesn't matter. I think the bhav is important.
correct. Like Hanumanji said, step aside, O squirrel. Like that. I think that's how I heard it. I'm not a scholar of Ramayana, but you are coming in the way of my doing service. So you step aside. Because I am doing the big service and you are doing very small service. So Lord Ram said, no, both services are equally valuable. Actually, Lord does not need our service. That's the thing. He is just accepting our bhav through the service. He doesn't need any service from us. Sometimes Krishna does say, oh, you're not feeding me, like he said to Sanatana Goswami, give me this, give me that. Or to Madhavendra Puri, he said, you have to take me out. But the Lord doesn't need anybody's service. He's Atma Ram. In the Tattva point of view, from Rasa point of view, yeah. Leela point of view, yeah, he needs but one way we can think also is he just takes our bhav behind that service. So whether we are chanting or whether we are hearing, whatever, it's the bhav that Krishna relishes behind that activity. Okay. So he became compassionate towards his small sister bird, so he came to see the sparrow. Garuda was very pleased by the determination. He promised to help. Thus Garuda at once asked the ocean to return her eggs, lest he himself take up the work of the sparrow. The ocean was frightened at this and returned the eggs. The sparrow became happy by the grace of Karuna. Similarly, the practice of yoga, especially bhakti yoga in Krishna consciousness, may appear to be a very difficult job. Prabhupada said sometimes, like, it's simple but not easy. Chanting is simple, but
It's simple for the simple, complex for those who are crooked.
yeah, and we are all, in one sense, yeah, our minds are complex and complicated. So, and yeah, when we sit to chant, then mind goes, so many things come in the mind, and or it just becomes plain like callous to the chanting. There are three things there, or the sinya, vikshepa, and jadya: laziness, distraction, and apathy. So all these things, because all mind is not liking it. So any service we do, but it appears to be very difficult. Like sometimes devotees say the japa is difficult. Kirtan is easy, but japa is difficult because it's not so. There is no like music in the japa, and there is no good voice. There is no singing and like that. So japa is difficult. So it may be appear to be very difficult, or following the four regular principles may appear to be difficult if you are conditioned in a wrong way. You know, that's also very difficult. It may appear to be very difficult job, but if anyone follows the principles with great determination, so we have to make our effort like the sparrow. The Lord will surely help, for God helps those who help themselves. So we have to try and pray to Krishna. We have to cry also to Krishna. If some things are an obstacle, we can cry to Krishna that I have no power to remove all these obstacles from my heart. But Krishna, you are all powerful. You can. Nrsimhadev is especially the remover of obstacles. So we can pray to Lord Nrsimhadev. You are the supreme power, and for you nothing is impossible. That's what happened. Sparrow's determination attracted Garuda's. Like that. Because our determination alone cannot do anything. What can we do? Maya is so powerful. But that intense desire is basically our qualification. Tatra lolyam api mulyam ekalam. That intense greed that I want to have Krishna. That's the one that will purchase Krishna. That desire that I want to serve Krishna very intensely. I don't have, all of you have so much intense desire. I'm also trying to develop some desire by your association. Before the body falls down and die, one day the body will fall down and die. But before that, if we developed an intense desire to serve Krishna, to take shelter of Krishna, then that's our saving grace. Because desires are the ones that keep us bound in the cycle of birth and death. Desires, it's only because of material desires that we have to transmigrate from one body to another. So, as life goes on, we have to drop all the desires, material desires, and just say, Krishna, I just want you. Okay. Like the child cannot be satisfied by anything, right? The child is crying, somebody is giving a lollipop, somebody is giving some toy, somebody is saying. But as soon as the mother goes and holds the child in her arms, child stops crying. Similarly, we are all crying in this material world. We are thinking this will give me happiness, that will give me happiness. Somebody is giving a lollipop, somebody is giving some toys, somebody is giving this. And we are thinking that all these things will stop my crying, but it will never stop the crying. Only when we go into the loving embrace of Krishna, then our crying will stop. Otherwise, we have to cry in this material nature with all the problems and all the different things. So, okay. So that we have to realize. Theoretically, we can speak, but we have to realize that all these things are nothing is going to give me satisfaction. Except service to Krishna, nothing is going to give me satisfaction. Now you can do varieties of activities, but as long as it is done as a service to Krishna, then it's good. There is direct service also, like chanting, hearing. And then there is indirect service where you work at a job and you use the fruits of your work too. Like in a temple, there is direct deity service, right? And then there is indirect service of, making sure that the, light bill is paid, the heater is working, and, so many other things, like the stove is working properly and you have to fix the stove, maintenance is there. Or if there is a festival, you have to organize the fest. That's also service, because without that organization is organization and intelligence. The Krishna consciousness movement will not spread. So you have to organize the event and you have to make sure that everybody is doing, everything comes together. Somebody is bringing this, somebody is bringing that, and then it all falls together. So, like in Bhumi Puja, right, we had different booths and there were so many things going on. And so it required some organization. That is also service. Everything, somebody has to, like in Vrindavan we went, there was this person, he was taking everybody's shoes. Now he may not be in the temple, but he's making sure that everybody's shoes are in proper. It's a service to devotees. So he's doing that seva to all the devotees. Such a nice service to touch the footwear of all the devotees and make sure that the devotees are, otherwise all the footwear will be messed up and things like that. So that is also service to Krishna. So
He had a sharp memory. He remembered his shoes were these.
okay, so like you may have to do the parking arrangement. Like if a lot of cars are coming, you have to direct them where they should park and everything. That's also service, because you are facilitating. You are not, of course, you can chant also while doing any service. So okay, so varieties of service one can perform for Krishna. Lord Boar penetrated the water with his hooves, which were like sharp arrows, and found the limits of the ocean. So, yeah, I was thinking that whatever we do, we should think that I'm doing it as a service to Krishna. Whether we are working, whether we are washing the pots or cleaning the house, I'm doing it as a service to Krishna. Because sometimes we think that only this is service. When we go to the temple or something, and other things not service. But devotee should think that everything is doing is like is a service. While doing the service also you should feel like it is service to Krishna. And then after the service is done, you offer the result also to Krishna. So then it makes it complete. Like Arjuna was fighting. So it is a service to Krishna. He was remembering Krishna. And he did it as an offering to Krishna. So Lord Boar penetrated the water with his hooves, which were like sharp arrows, and found the limits of the ocean, although it was unlimited. He saw the earth, the resting place for all living beings, lying as it was in the beginning of creation, and he personally lifted it. The word Rasayam is sometimes interpreted to mean Rasatal, the lowest planetary system, but that is not applicable in this connection. According to Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, the earth is 7 times superior to the lower planetary systems, namely Talatal, Talatal, Vital, Rasatal, Patal, etc. Therefore, the earth cannot be situated in the Rasatal planetary system. It is described in Vishnu Dharma. Therefore, the Lord found the earth on the bottom of the Garbhodak ocean, where the planets rest during the devastation at the end of Brahma's day. Okay. So, anything anybody like to say, or should I do 8:30? Stop here. Anything else? We can read something. Nityananda Charitra. Any pastime anyone would like to say? Okay. See. So Vrindavan Das Thakur, so Mother Narayani Devi, she got the mercy of Lord Chaitanya when she was 4 years old, when she chewed the remnants of the betel nuts that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had chewed on. So she observed, Narayani Devi observed the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya, and she described it to her son, Vrindavan Das Thakur. So whatever he heard from his mother and he found in Murari Gupta's diary, he wrote down in Sri Chaitanya Bhagavatam. Okay, so this is a biography of Vrindavan Das Thakur. Okay, let's see. Any pastime that we have not read, we can read. Yeah.
Is that pastime of Sachi Devi having a dream of her deities, Krishna, Balram, but she saw Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda were fighting, and then this is my prasad.
Yeah, that Giriraj Maharaj was saying, right? Is that the one you were saying? No. She had the dream.
They were fighting, all 4 of them were fighting. This is my prasad. This is in Madhya Leela chapter 4.
Okay, we can read that. Okay, let's go.
It's in the PDF. If you open the PDF, or you can type in. He roared loudly. Type in that.
Can read this.
Yes.
Slow. I can read the past time. It's okay.
Yes, Prabhu.
Shiva's love for Lord Nityananda. So Shivas is Narad Muni and the dream of Mother Sachi. Lord Nityananda thus stayed at the house of Srivas Pandit. He was constantly absorbed in childish mood and nothing else. He did not eat food with his own hand, but Malini Devi fed him. So Srivas Thakur's wife is Malini Devi. Just like her own son, Malini Devi, the chaste wife of Srivas Pandit, knew well the glories of Lord Nityananda. She served him as an affectionate mother. One day, Lord Gauranga was discussing Krishna with Srivas Pandit. To test Srivas Pandit, Lord Vishwambar asked him, "Why do you always keep this mendicant in your house?" Means Nityanand Prabhu. Why you are keeping this beggar in your house? We don't know anything about his family and dynasty. But one thing I must say is that you are overly magnanimous. If you want to protect your family name, get rid of this beggar at once. So, this beggar, will your family reputation will get spoiled. Shivas Pandit smilingly replied, "Oh Lord, you are testing me. This is unfair. Anyone who worships you, even for a day, is very dear to me. Nityananda is non different from you. There is no doubt about this. Even if Nityananda holds a pot of wine or marries a Muslim girl, still my heart will not deviate, even an inch, from his glorious lotus feet, though he destroys my caste, life, and wealth. I indeed tell you the truth." So Srivas Thakur said, "No, no. Whatever Lord Nityananda may do, he may marry a Muslim girl or he may hold a pot of wine. Still, he will be the Lord of my life." When the Lord heard this from Srivas Pandit, he roared loudly and climbed on his chest. So the Lord said, "What did you say, Srivas Pandit? You have so much faith in Nityananda? You have actually understood the most confidential glories of Nityananda. I am so very pleased with you that I will give you a boon. Even if Lakshmi, the goddess of fortune, begs in the street, there will never be any poverty in your house." It's also the same thing like when he clapped his hands, right? It's the same thing.
Yeah. When his son died, right? Or no, it was different when he was saying you don't work outside.
Correct. That time. Yeah, one time Lord Chaitanya came to Srivas Thakur and said, "I see that you are all day doing bhajan and all this. You don't work and you have a big family. How do you maintain all this big family? You are not working anything." And Srivas Thakur clapped 3 times. Lord Chaitanya said, "What is the meaning of 3 claps that you are doing?" He said, "If I clap 3 times and if there is no food comes to me, then I will take an iron pot and tie it around my neck, very heavy iron pot, so I will drown in the Ganges." And then Lord Chaitanya said, "You never say like that, Srivas. Even if Lakshmi has to live in poverty, but there will never be any poverty in your house because you are the devotee of the Supreme Lord. There cannot be any poverty." So, even if Lakshmi, the goddess of fortune, begs in the street, there will never be any poverty in your house. Everyone in your house, including cats and dogs, will achieve undivided devotional service unto me. I offer Nityananda at your disposal. Therefore, please take care of him in all respects. So, please take care of Nityananda Prabhu. After blessing Srivas Pandit, the Lord returned home. Lord Nityananda would regularly wander throughout Nadia. Sometimes he swam in the middle of the Ganges, and sometimes the current of the water took him away. Sometimes he happily enjoyed sporting with the boys, and he would sometimes visit the house of Gangadas and Murari. Lord Nityananda would sometimes visit the house of Lord Chaitanya. Then Mother Sachi would show great affection to him. In a childish mood, Nityananda would try to catch hold of Mother Sachi's feet, but she would immediately run away. One day, Mother Sachi saw something in a dream. She secretly related the whole story to her son. Vishwambar, she said, at the end of night, I saw both you and Nityananda in a dream. Both of you were 5-year-old boys, fighting and running all around the house. So Sachi Mata is saying, I saw you in the dream along with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. She told her son Vishwambar, who is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Then I saw both of you enter the deity room and come out with the deities of Krishna and Balaram. Nityananda held Krishna in his hands and you had Balaram in yours. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was holding Balaram and Nityananda Prabhu was holding Krishna. I clearly saw all 4 of you fighting amongst yourselves. So Balaram, Krishna, Nityananda and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu were fighting. Then the deities of Krishna and Balaram said in an angry mood, who are you two pretenders? Get out of here. They are telling Chaitanya and Nityananda. This house, these rooms, milk, sandesh, yogurt and everything else in the house belongs to us. So everything belongs to us. So who are you taking our share? Then Nityananda said, those days are gone when you used to steal and eat butter and yogurt. The power of cowherd boys is finished. Now the rule of the Brahmanas is in force. So you no longer now recognize us and give up accepting all the offerings. If you don't give up out of love, we'll beat you up. Now if you steal the offerings, who's going to leave us? Now if you steal the offerings, who's going to leave you alone? Yeah, so they are telling, Nityananda Prabhu is threatening Krishna and Balaram. That if you steal the offerings, then we are not going to leave you alone. Both Krishna and Balaram replied, don't blame us. We are going to bind up both of you pretenders right now. Then Balaram challenged Nityananda in an angry mood. If you play mischief with us, then I swear on Krishna that you will have to face the consequences. Balaram is Nityananda only. Balaram is challenging Nityananda. Don't play mischief with us. Nityananda replied, I am not afraid of your Krishna. My Lord is Gaurachandra Vishwambar. Like this, all 4 of you quarreled amongst yourself and ate foodstuffs by snatching from each other. I also saw someone snatch a morsel from other's hand and eat it. Someone else took food from the other's mouth. Then Nityananda called me. Mother, please give me some rice to eat. I am feeling very hungry. Just then I woke up from my sleep. In fact, I couldn't understand anything. So I told you about my dream. Okay. So Sachi Mata is telling to Gaur, her son, Gaurachandra. She's saying that this way you quarreled, all of you, and you were snatching food stuff from each other. I also saw someone snatch a morsel from the other's hand and eat it. Okay. So then Nityananda Prabhu said, I am feeling very hungry in the dream. Hearing his mother, Lord Vishwambar smiled and spoke to her in a sweet voice. Oh mother, you indeed had an auspicious dream. But please don't tell this to anyone. Now I am firmly convinced the deities at your house are directly the Supreme Personality of Godhead. My heart has become more strengthened by hearing your dream. While offering food to the Lord, I repeatedly found half of the food missing. But out of shyness, I didn't tell this to anyone. Actually, I had a doubt on your daughter-in-law, but today that doubt is removed from my mind. So, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying that maybe Vishnu Priya stole the food. We offered, but I always found the food that we were offering to be half. Half was missing. So I did not tell this to anyone. But now, after your dream, I am convinced that the deities in your home are actually Krishna and Balaram. They are not just deities, they are actually the Supreme Lord. See, and he was saying that I thought maybe your daughter-in-law, means my wife, She stole it, but now it's removed from my mind because it's confirmed that they are coming and taking it. On hearing her husband's words, Lakshmi Priya, not Vishnu Priya, Lakshmi Priya, the first wife, who's directly the goddess of fortune, simply smiled. And this is the only time it's mentioned that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu joked with his wife or made a remark like that. She heard all about the dream from inside the room. Vishwambar said, Mother, please listen. I will at once invite Nityananda and feed him. Hearing the words of her son, Sachi became very pleased and began to arrange for lunch. Okay, we'll read the next pastime. The eating pastimes of Mahaprabhu and Nityananda. It's not big, we can read it. Lord Vishwambar went to the place of Lord Nityananda to invite him for lunch. So, because Nityananda Prabhu in the dream of Sachi Mata said, I'm very hungry, very hungry. So Vishwambar went to Nityananda Prabhu and said, come for lunch. Lord Chaitanya said, oh Gosai, today kindly accept lunch at my house. But one thing you must remember, do not play any mischief. Nityananda caught hold of his own ears and murmured, Vishnu, Vishnu. He continued like a madman playing mischief. Then he said, you consider me a naughty boy. Actually, you see everyone as being the same as yourself. You are also naughty, you think I am naughty. Saying this, both of them began to laugh and they left for Vishwambar's home, discussing about Krishna on the way. When they reached the house, the relatives headed by Gadadhar welcomed them. They sat together inside the house. So they were discussing about Krishna and they came to the home of Sachi Mata. Ishan, who is the servant in Sachi Mata, gave water to both Vishwambar and Nityananda for washing their feet. Then both sat down for lunch. Both the lords sat down to eat. The scene resembled Sri Ram and Lakshman eating together at the house of Kaushalya. They both began to eat just like in their former pastimes with the loving exchanges. Mother Sachi happily served them food. Suddenly the 2 plates of food turned into 3 plates in front of her. Instead of 2, there were 3 plates. The Lord began to smile. Then Mother Sachi returned with more food. Instead of the 2 lords, she found 2 small boys, no more than 5 years of age, sitting there. She saw 2 most attractive boys with black and white colors. So Krishna and Balram were sitting there instead of Chaitanya and Nityananda. Both were 4-handed and naked. No, maybe it's not 4-handed, they're 4-handed. They were decorated with a conch disc, a club, a lotus, a plough and stick. They were also decorated with Srivatsa and Kaustuba gems and wore fish-shaped earrings. She saw her daughter-in-law within the heart of her son. That's Radharani only, the consort of Lord Chaitanya. Then all of a sudden, she could not see anything more. Mother Sachi fell senseless to the ground. She could not make what to make out of this. Her whole body and clothes became wet due to tears of love. The rice she was carrying in her hand scattered all over the room. Seeing this extraordinary scene made Mother Sachi swoon. Mahaprabhu quickly got up and washed his hand. He picked up his mother, saying, "Oh mother, please get up. Please calm down. Why have you suddenly fallen on the ground?" After a while, Mother Sachi revived and quickly tied her hair. She spoke not a word, but simply cried inside her room. Breathing heavily, her whole body shivered. She became filled with love of God and forgot everything else. Then Ishan cleaned the room, leftovers and kitchen paraphernalia. Ishan served Mother Sachi constantly. He was thus the most fortunate person within the 14 worlds. So Sachi is none other than Yashoda. So Ishan is getting to serve Yashoda. Like this, various pastimes were enacted every day. No one except the confidential servant knows the purport of these pastimes. After they finished lunch, Mother Sachi anointed the bodies of Sri Gauranga and Nityananda Prabhu with sandal paste. She then offered various items for worship, such as flower garlands. Seeing Nityananda satiated, the eyes of Mother Sachi, she kept staring at Nityananda's face, being maddened by affection for him. Sri Gauranga told his mother, "You must treat Nityananda as your own son. Take care of him more affectionately than me." Mother Sachi then looked out on the face of Nityananda, thinking him as his own son. She said, "From now on, you are my own son. Please be kind to my Vishwambar. From today on, both of you are my sons." Speaking like this, tears flowed constantly down from Mother Sachi's eyes. Out of motherly feeling, she took Nityananda on her lap. Nityananda offered obeisances, at Mother Sachi's feet, thinking her of his affectionate mother. He sweetly said to her, "Mother, what you say is true. I can declare with confidence that I am actually your son. Oh, mother, please do not consider my offenses. Know for certain, without a doubt, I am your son." Filled with emotion of being with Nityananda's mother, tears flowed from the eyes of Mother Sachi. Okay. All right, so we'll stop here. Thank you very much for your association. Hare Krishna, everyone.
Thank you,
Thank
Hare
you,
Prabhuji.
Krishna.
Prabhuji. Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Thank you.